We're here with Dr. Gisela Linge, who's Supply Chain Vice President at Autoliv. We've just come off a panel debate about embedding digitalization, and just for our wider audience, we're going to just pick her brains on a couple of ideas. So just in terms of embedding digitalization, what are you seeing in terms of your organization and the wider supply chain in terms of putting down digitalization?
So I think what's important when we talk about embedding digitalization is really to embed this in our way of working, our way of thinking, and that meaning making digitalization human-centric. So really making sure that we have the real problems of our key users in mind, that we build trust into the systems, the solutions that we are developing on the one hand, but also have the trust of the top management team. Because in the end, we don't do digitalization just for fun. It's about creating value, creating real business value, maybe in higher efficiencies and automating processes and making better decisions by using fact-based, data-driven, AI-driven recommendations, or just really hands-on things like reducing our inventories, premium freights, and so on.
Yeah. And one of the things we talked about was reducing the silos, because there's a lot of silos within different organizations. What are your processes and thought processes in terms of reducing and removing some of those silos?
So a key part of the Autoliv strategy is really to embed our end-to-end way of working and end-to-end way of thinking along our value chain. So to make sure that, especially within Autoliv, we all collaborate in a good way and that we think across these silos. And how do we now do this with our digitalization? That means that, for example, our governance is cross-functionally. For key digitalization initiatives, it's really even on the executive management team level, across functions involving the business also here, that's important, but also bottom up, so to say, on the team level. So the Scrum teams are cross-functional, and I'm not only talking about business and IT, but also of the different functions that are affected by a solution that we want to embed into our way of working.
Yeah. And part of that is collaboration, right? So collaborating within the organization and outside with external partners. What's your thinking behind the whole collaboration issue and trying to collaborate with different elements of the supply chain so that you can embed digitalization?
So as I said before, it's really important internally, of course, to make sure that everybody is close. So as I said in the discussion, there's no business and IT separation. We are one team, so to say, and we work together in one team. We have meetings together. We go out and do this together. And then when it comes to outside, of course, you are collaborating much with your software supplier. It's many times nowadays going rather into kind of a co-development in some stuff, and then on other issues, I think where we will have more collaboration upcoming across the supply chain is when it comes to sustainability. So, for example, Autoliv, we want to be net zero across our supply chain by 2040. That's nothing that we can do on our own. There we need the close collaboration, for example, with our suppliers to make this happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking of 2040, but just looking ahead in terms of embedding digitalization in the next, say, 5-10 years, how do you see that seen in the next 5-10 years in terms of embedding the whole digitalization?
Yeah, as we discussed before, it's like this kind of end-to-end thinking means that having solutions that go across functions, that really go along the process and come with it. And that means also connecting the different data silos we have and to bring this together. And then, the dream, the vision would be, for example, if you have an SNOP meeting in the future, that you have the scenarios already there, and can discuss via a large like ChatGPT or something like similar with your system. So and getting advices, but in the end, of course, it's still the human being who decides and make the recommendation.
Keeping the human involved, I suppose, as we embed digitalization.
In the driver's seat, so to say. So really having these kind of co-pilots, AI-driven, but in the end, it's the human who takes the decision.
No, brilliant. Thank you so much, Dr. Gisela from Autoliv, Vice President of Global Logistics. Thank you so much. And I'm just signing off from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.